I've been reading through The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, the Missouri native, and there's a phrase in here that I came across that I just love. Huck's talking, and he's talking about the lady that's taking care of him, and he says, "After supper, she got out her book and learned me about Moses and the bulrushers, and I was in a sweat to find out all about him, but by and by, she let it out that Moses had been dead a considerable long time, so then I didn't care no more about him, because I don't take no stock in dead people." He uses that same phrase, "I don't take no stock," when he's talking about math, too, and he says he's learned up to 6 times 7 is 35, which, by the way, is wrong. And then he says, but it doesn't matter because I don't take no stock in mathematics. He's saying, man, that's not where I'm putting my faith. That's not what's important to me. That's not what I think is going to make a difference in my life. Learn about dead people. I'm not putting my bets on a dead person. And I think we should kind of have that same attitude in our earthly possessions and talking about money. Today we're looking at Matthew 6:19, where Jesus talks about the battle between affections between God and possessions. He says this in verse 19. "Don't collect for yourself treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but collect for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves don't break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. So if the light within you is darkness, how deep is the darkness? No one can be a slave of two masters, since either he will hate one and love the other, or be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot be slaves of God and money. Jesus kind of lays out in 3 different little sections why we should focus on Him rather than focusing on money. The first thing he points out is that spiritual blessings, spiritual riches, are much more secure than earthly treasures. You see, on earth there's moth and there's rust, and they destroy, and thieves can break in and steal. If we look at the economy today, what was the greatest economy ever known to man just 2 months ago is now in tough times as we face 15% of people being unemployed. It just reminds us that nothing here on earth is secure. And so we don't want to put our hope, we don't put our trust in it. We don't want to live for these riches that aren't secure, that will be taken away. So he says, but in heaven there are neither moth nor rust, where thieves don't break in and steal. So there's that hope of secure riches that aren't going away anytime soon. And he also says something interesting. He says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." The things that you love, or that you treasure, wherever they are, if they're on earth as material things, or they're in heaven as spiritual riches, that's what's going to determine where your love and where your mind is. Because if you keep your treasures here on earth, you're going to only be focused on the material things here on earth. You're going to be wanting, another Hulu subscription, right? And you only have Netflix, or you're going to be wanting the newest Xbox game. You have to have it because this is what you treasure. That's what your mind is wrapped around. But if we put it in heaven, if that's where our spiritual riches are, if that's where our treasure is, then our heart will be focused on God. It's going to be focused on Him and His will. And then he goes on and he talks a little bit about the eye is the lamp of the body. And it seems really confusing. Like, what does this have to do with anything? What he's trying to get at is that what you focus on matters. We look with our eyes. And so he's kind of using that as an illustration. Where you're looking determines the whole rest of your body. Kind of like where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Where your eyes are focused on, your whole body will be affected. So if you look at the light, your whole body will be full of the light. But if you look at the darkness, your whole body will be full of darkness. And he goes on to finally end this, and he says, no one can be slaves of two masters. He says it bluntly. You can either serve God or you can serve money. There's no road that you can do both in. No, you're either for this team or you're for that team. I have my Spurs jersey on today. You know, when it comes down to it, I can either be a Spurs fan or I can be a Dallas Mavericks fan, right? They're two opposites. You can't like them both. They compete against each other. They both want your affection and demand your attention and your love. So Jesus lays it out. You either live your life for money, you either live your life for earthly possessions, or you live for me. And if you live for me, I might call you to leave all that behind. Are you willing to do it? This week I pray that you would just spend a little bit of time thinking, man, where is my heart? Where is my mind? Who am I serving? Am I serving money and my own gratification? You know, I just want to do things that help out me. I want to spend all my time and money and energy watching Netflix or Amazon Prime Video or Hulu or Disney Plus or playing Xbox or playing Minecraft or whatever. Or are you going to spend that time being a slave for God, focusing on Him, spending time in your Bible, spending time praying, being a light to others, encouraging and challenging others in their faith, and doing what you should do